we are. So I want to welcome you, family, to Vocal Empowerment Masterclass. This is, are we at session 10? Could it possibly be? Wow, we have 3 left. It's amazing how far we've come. I want to say wholeness and balance, vibrations, and so much love from Costa Rica, family. It is incredible to get to connect to you and feel this connection strong across the oceans, across the world. And as I was just sharing before we started the recording, I woke up early this morning on my first morning here and started with watching the sunrise and doing breath work. And we've done yoga today. We just went down to the waterfall. And now I'm missing lunch so that we can keep our appointment here with each other and keep this Sunday time. As the timing would have it, this is exactly the time everyone's getting fed. So I am going to just be fed by this connection and by our work together today, which is all about power. Today we're talking about power, and today I just want to invoke your voice of power. We've been diving into vocal empowerment, right? Since, it's 9 weeks now. And in all of these different perspectives and all of these different tools and all of these different technologies and visualizations and ways of playing with our voice. It's taken us this far to really come to the moment. We've come to the moment, you guys, where we finally are going to really start tapping into our power with our voice, right? Because there's a time to be soft and sweet and gentle, and then there's a time to bring it. And we know the difference. We know when it's time to bring it and bring that. It's not about being loud, but powerful. Right? You could be powerful, you could be soft. You can actually be quiet and powerful. Right? For those of you who have grandparents or have spent time around elders who are in their power, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like when grandma says like the room will get quiet, right? She doesn't have to say much, right? What is that? What is that thing that happens where without saying much or being very loud, you can speak something and it's very powerful, it can cut through like a knife, right? So that's what we're going to be exploring today. So I'm so grateful that we get to be together today, and I apologize for the streaming issues. We are going to create a field together right now and strengthen our connection. So let's go ahead and drop into our breath and breathe into our heart. Let's let out an ah. We're going to do that a few times. Let's just breathe into your heart. Ah. Let's do that 2 more times. Ah. Yes. 1 more time. Make it count. So I want you to put your feet on the ground, and if you're sitting in a chair, just go ahead and put your feet on the ground and ground into the earth. And then over these next few breaths, we're going to tone home together. I want to really invite you to ground in through your feet, through your root chakra, right? Through your belly, through your heart, through your crown, all the way down, and just breathe. And when we tone home, let's get this channel open. Let's get this channel humming and vibrant today. So we're going to do 3 tone homes. So go ahead and take a deep breath in. One more. And let's go ahead and do 3 tones where we tone in. We're going to tone in, activate ourselves, activate our body. So here we go. We're just going to move through these real quickly. Here we go. Big deep breath. Tone in. Move it around. Move it around your body all the way down. Let yourself get sensual and activate your energies, your embodiment. Two more. One more. Try some lower tones. Try moving it around. Make sure you can feel your cells vibrating with your own sound. Here we go. Beautiful. On the next deep breath, we're going to do 3 tones into our sphere. Let's activate our sphere today. Nice and clear, golden energy, pure light in our sphere. Here we go. One more, fully activated. Let's do one more big inhalation and let out an ah, a big open ah, as open as you can get. Imagine that your heart opens and spherically merges with your field. So you bring your heart to merge with your sphere so that your heart is actually this big. Big open ah sound. Here we go. Oh, how good does that feel? Let's do 2 more of those. That feels so good to me. I just feel like let's, again, bringing your heart as if you could imagine it as well as feel it, and as well as seeing it alive. You sing your heart until it opens all the way that it literally becomes one with your outer sphere. So we'll do 2 more. Here we go. Big deep breath in. Relax your jaw, relax your neck, relax your shoulders. Just roll them back a little bit, open up your heart. Here we go. One last ah. Let it all go. Ah. Beautiful. Now with your eyes closed, just notice your field, notice your body. Relax any remaining tensions in your body, especially in your shoulders, your neck, your jaw, your head, your brain. Relax all of these muscles and any tightness, anything that's holding on. So much that we carry around with us. This is our moment to just let go and breathe into the gentle, effortless power that you are. So in just a moment, we're going to breathe in, and with our eyes closed, I'd like you to imagine the center of our collective sphere. If we as a community, as a family, as a group that's here, all tuned into this moment, we could be anywhere, we could be focused on anything, but we're focused right here. So let's take our focus and use our power to connect to the center of our group field. Now, it doesn't matter where that is on a map. It doesn't really matter where that is. It's in connection. It's in the energy and in the hyperspace of our psychic field, our energetic field, our magnetic field. So just take a moment to breathe into and imagine the center of a sphere that literally includes all of us in our individual spheres. This is our temple. This is the temple that we work with. It's not just that you're over there and I'm over here and we're looking through a computer. No, we're actually in an energetic spherical temple, and we're going to tone into the center of that temple. There's a tiny fire that's been lit. So I want you to just close your eyes and imagine the center of our temple. And just become aware of all the other spheres in a circle around the edge. All of us who are here, all of us even who are in the future going to be here with us by watching this video, connect to the center of the sphere. We are limitless. We exist beyond time and space. We are not bound by time, nor are we bound by space, which is why we can visualize and see the center of this temple that we are all dwelling in right now. And I want you to take a few breaths and start connecting into the center. There's a flame, a fire that has been lit. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a series of tones. And I want you to express from your core what your entire sphere and your center, what would you sing if you had the task of getting the fire to glow brighter and burn hotter and let the flames burn taller? What you're going to do with your tone home is that you're going to get this flame in the center of our temple to burn brighter, hotter, with more passion, with more connectedness, with more presence. So it's going to take all of your presence to tone into the center of our sphere that we're creating together just by simply showing up. And let's get this fire to let its flames tickle and touch the ceiling until it becomes a pillar of flame, a pillar of light. Sound good? Let's take a big, deep breath and let it out. Take another deep breath and connect to your central channel, your Sushumna, your channel. We're going to do 2 more breaths where go ahead and start working with your central channel that's moving through your spine from the root to the crown. Feel it. Feel it in there. I dare you to power up a little bit today. A little bit more fire today. Go ahead and breathe into your central channel. Here we go. Let out a ha. One more big deep breath in. And let out a roar. Ha. Feel your fire. This is your power. This is your passion. If you want to let one more roar out, this is your moment. I'm going to breathe in with you and just let you roar. Ready? Let me hear it. Yes. Yes. Okay. Now that you can feel it, you can connect to it. Put your hands on your root. Put your hands on your belly. Feel your fire. And on the count of 3, we're going to breathe in and we're going to energize the flame of presence in the center of our collective temple. It can be any sound that you want. Start with the sound ah, ha. In fact, start with the sound ha. And when you ha, you can let that tone go wherever it needs to go. It could go ha, or it could be ha, and you can stay there. You can go up, you can go down. It's your fire. Do what you need to do with it, but stay connected, stay present, and let the flame show you what it needs to glow brighter, to grow hotter, to grow more connected. So we're going to be in connection with each other through the central channel. And we're going to start with ha. We're going to do this 7 times. Okay? So I'm going to just explore with the sound ha, but if I go somewhere else and you don't want to do that, pay attention to you. You're your own master. You are the teacher. You are the master. Here we go. Big deep breath in. Ha, from your root. Ha. Keep going. Bring the fire. Ha! Opening. Open your channel. Let it come through. Ha! Here we go. Number 4. Here we go. Keep going. Bring it. Don't lose the fire. One more. Bring it all the way into your heart and just flame from your heart into the center of the sphere. Here we go. Beautiful, beautiful. Now we're going to do a couple more here. We're going to start with ha, but we're going to transform from ha to e. So in a slow motion, it will sound like this. Ha. When you get to E, see how tight you can make that sound, how small, like a laser beam. We're going to bring that sound all the way up to our third eye. We're going to open our third eyes wide and bright today, okay? So when you bring that ha, you're going to start from your belly, and imagine you're just bringing it up as you're moving from ha to E. Hi. And when you get to E, go ahead and put your fingers together here in this mudra like this, and make a triangle with the top, but with a point at your third eye. Hi. And literally focus your third eye into the center of our sphere. We're strengthening our collective field right now. So we're going to do this 3 times. Ha to E. By the time you get here, just go ahead and focus the E, okay? Here we go. Big deep breath. Any sound that comes through. Ha. Beautiful. Big deep breath in. We're going to do it 2 more times. Ha. One more time. Bring the fire. Beautiful, beautiful. How do you feel, beloveds? I can feel our collective field is just humming right now. And so I wanted to start with a little more energy today to get our fire and our chi nice and bright for what we're going to be diving into. Today is all about power, but power is a very misunderstood concept. Power is not so much like, ooh, how powerful are we? How much can we, force? How much can we push? How much weight can we lift, right? How strong are we when we battle something? That's not the kind of power we're talking about. We're talking about true power, right? Which bubbles up from within, which is life force, energy, which is sexuality, which is creativity, which is art, which is dance, which is passion, which is love, right? This is the most powerful feeling in the whole world, is to be in love, right? Isn't it amazing how love has both, inspired the greatest works of art and songs that have started revolutions, right? The Beatles said, all you need is love, right? And love also has the power to topple kingdoms, on the shadow side of it, right? When, jealousy and all these things, it's like, so love and or the pursuit of it, the reaching for it, right, from our ego, trying to understand and grasp this power, it's already who we are, so we don't need to grasp it. Of course we know this, but what parts of you are still grasping, still looking, still reaching, still trying to manipulate someone or something to get something, to get more power, to get more money, maybe connection, maybe recognition? What is it? What part of you still doesn't believe that you are a master already? You are already a master. You already contain all the keys of the universe, all the instruments of manifestation. They lie inside of you. But some part of you doesn't believe it. Some part of you still tries to say, yes, yes, Elijah, but maybe when I get here and I finally accomplish this, or I'm good enough at this, then maybe I'll be master. But no, you have it right now. I really believe this is the only thing standing in the way of us realizing our powers, that we don't believe it yet. Some part of us doesn't believe it. Who is that part? Where are they? Maybe we want to take the microphone from them for a moment. Be like, okay, that was nice of you to say that. That's really cute. I welcome you to sit here in the back seat, and I'm going to drive now. Soul is going to drive now, right? So with our ego in service to the soul, in service to the spirit, right? The presence that we are. That's power. Power is being in service, but not hunched over in service and, oh, what else can I do for you? No. Like, how may I serve this moment? Little note about power, something I read early on in this really interesting book I'm just thinking of for the first time since I was a kid. I don't even know. It's called The Art of Shen Ku. The Art of Shen Ku. And it was like this beautifully illustrated book by an author named Zeke. And he made all these drawings, and it was basically like a book of life. It had everything from martial arts techniques to how to raise children consciously, to the plants and medicinal herbs for every single ailment were in there. I mean, it was just this crazy books. How to move your tantric energy and recycle, do your microcosmic orbit. So all these things, since I was like 18 when I found this book, and I was just like, wow, this is like everything a human being needs to know is in here. And it had something about self-defense in there, and it was showing this kind of like a comic strip style depiction of a person walking down the street. And they were walking like this, right? You see this all the time. In fact, many of us are like this, right? Walking down the street. How many people do you see? Be honest with yourself. It might be you too. How many people do you see every time you go outside, every time you go to the store, walk through the city, where people are just like this, walking? It's like the zombies, like the Walking Dead. I've been caught doing the same thing, sitting in an airport, and nothing else to do, so just like look at this, and then pretty soon my posture goes from this, right? In my power, open to the universe, open, present to what's around me, to all of a sudden this. And now I'm cut off. My heart is closing. My field is shielded. But most of all, I'm out of my power when I'm like this. So this book, The Art of Shen Ku, drew a little comic strip, and it showed someone walking down the street like that. And it showed two like robbers, right? Two thieves that were across the street watching for people going by, and there's like, there's someone we can get, because they're not in their power, right? Hunched over, small, heart is closed, no power, right? Easy target. Now, if you're walking like this down the street, connected, centered, present, those same robbers would watch people like that. They'd let them pass by because they're like, we'll wait for someone easy, right? So don't be a target, not just to robbers, because of course that's kind of a silly thing to be, I'm not saying this story to take it literally, but energetically, it is pretty literal that we become a target for lower energies when we're not in our power. All of a sudden, the kinds of opportunities and things that we're manifesting and things we're magnetizing into our life are much lower vibration when we're moving through life like this, right? So practice. When you're sitting in your sphere, when you're singing, when you're toning, make it a prayer, make it an exclamation, an exalted experience of connection to spirit, to yourself, to your power, right? If you just sat down every day and when you came into your spherical explorations 3 times a day, 11 minutes in the morning, 11 minutes in the afternoon, 11 minutes before you go to bed, and if you dedicated those 33 minutes of your day to being in your power, right? Even if you're laying down, right? Like in the morning and the evening, that's okay. You're laying down, I do that too. But open your heart and feel the power of your spirit flowing through your body, right? To make sound from that place. It doesn't matter if you have the best voice or not. It doesn't matter if you can sing, like acrobatically. You may or may not be able to do little things like that. It actually doesn't matter at all. Because you know what? The person that can sing one note from their place of power is infinitely more potent and more impactful and more of a gift to the world. If you just could sing one song only, but you sing it really well and you sing it from your power, I truly believe that that's what the earth is hungry for. That's what people are hungry for. That's why a child in their divine innocence and their joy singing a song, even if their voice cracks and they miss all the notes, it really doesn't matter, does it? It opens our heart, right? So that's what we're here to do, is to keep our hearts open, to live and walk with an open heart, to practice in our sphere being open-hearted. And we can trust this because our sphere is our shield of light, but it's not a shield that protects and keeps us locked in. It's a shield that reflects and projects our love, our light, our power into the world. And we choose when it's appropriate. We discern when is it time to bring it in a little bit. Maybe I want to just kind of cruise through a little bit more ninja style in this moment. And other moments, it's all the lights are on. Let's do this. Let's blast our power into this moment, right? We know when it's time to do that. But when the moment comes and you're called upon and your power is needed, will you have cultivated the hours, the 10,000 hours of breathing, singing, loving in your presence and in your power? So that when the moment comes and you are needed, you're right there. It's all you have to do is take one breath and one tone. One tone is all it takes to actually change the particles in the room, to realign themselves, to get in alignment with this assignment. If you fall out of alignment, we all do. But within one tone, you should be able to bring yourself back. And then you can bring others back too. That's vocal empowerment. That's what we're doing here. Because in the end, this isn't even just about us anymore. This is about the planet. This is about Gaia. This is about our human family, right? This is about showing up and being of service. I have a feeling that every single one of you here was drawn to this moment, to working with me and with this masterclass and with this container and with each other in this space, because there's some part of you that wants to be of service in an even greater way, to open up, to get yourself activated, yes, to perhaps learn, to soak up maybe little bits of wisdom in here. But it's not just for you, is it? It's not just so that you can sit there all smug and like, ooh, I've got all this wisdom now, so I'm just going to move up to the mountains with all my wisdom and I've got it set. It's not how it works. It's like we naturally want to share it, and we naturally bump into our other relationships and they're like, hey, what's going on with you today? Wow, you feel different. What are you doing? I want some of that, right? Have you noticed? If you're doing your work, right? Every week, if you're keeping up with this vocal empowerment, then most likely people are noticing in your life. You might be getting some comments. You might be, surprising even people who've known you for a long time. This work has the power to change your reality, to change the way that you move through the world. And then the way you move through the world is different. The way people will meet you is different, right? So beloveds, I want to take a moment to check in with you here before I dive into this next part. There's a lot of noise outside, right? I'm in a retreat center. We are just in full surrender to the moment, doing the best we can here. The room they gave me is right next to the kitchen, and they're just working away in there. So I just want to check in with you, just make sure everything's good. You can hear me all right? Okay, good. Maria said it sounds fine. If Maria says it sounds fine, then I trust that, because Maria is a sonic master. For those of you who don't know Maria's work, I want to make it your official home fun to go onto the web and search all of her music out. It's on Spotify. Maybe Mara, maybe you can leave a link to the best way that you want people to go see your music, your website. But we have some amazing, amazing creative people in this group. And Maria, I just want to really take a moment to acknowledge you as a sonic master. Such an amazing voice, such an amazing composer. And so for those of you who haven't yet gotten a chance to listen and explore Maria's music, you are going to be in for a pleasant surprise and an incredible ride. It's like an adventure. So yes, yeah, sharing the notes. And that's your home fun. Your home fun is to listen to Maria's music and just check out the range of sonic expression and the way that she expresses such profound mythic concepts in sound, in form. It's so much of what we're doing here. Maria and I had to, just not to keep putting you on the spot, Mara, but we had an amazing time working together one-on-one before this course came around. And so amazing to be able to work with, sonic Jedis that not only get it, that like, yes, I understand, but actually take it in, embody it, make it their own, and then turn it into something brand new. I mean, this is what we're doing. So, so I just want to acknowledge, thank you, Maria, for being a part of this group and for helping with the notes and the back end. So appreciated. So one piece of home fun has just been dropped. That's a fun one. It's putting the home in, it's putting the fun in home fun. So I want you to just take a couple deep breaths, take a sip of water if you have it, and I'm going to read us something. I've gotten some feedback from everyone. I've been reading your feedback, and I hear that you love it when I read to you. Quite a few people have said that. Oh, I just love it when you read to us, Elijah. So I'm going to read you a very short poem today, but it's related to the theme of the day. All right. So, in addition to listening to Maria's music, downloading her whole discography and checking it out, if you haven't already, I really invite you to go to my website and download the Soundlight volumes 1 through 5. I believe we gifted you volume 5 at the beginning of this course, which is AKA Soundlight for Standing Rock. That was a very powerful session that I did for the people of Standing Rock. And but there's 4 other volumes. So if you don't already have it and you haven't already explored it, definitely listen to Soundlight and tone and explore with it. I find that I get a lot of feedback from people around the world that it is in and of itself kind of like an activation for their voice, to just tone to it and sing to it and explore with it. So to have it on headphones, sometimes I listen to it when I'm traveling, and it just puts me in the zone. I don't listen to much of my own music, but Soundlight is one of those soundtracks that just seems to fit a lot of moments and put me right in the moment where I need to be. So I invite you to go download some Soundlight music as well this week. And the reason I bring it up is because I sent, I believe it was Soundlight Volume 3 to one of my mentors and heroes in this world. And I don't say that word lightly. I really do mean quite literally. A spiritual hero of mine is an anonymous teacher and author and musician and poet who just simply goes by the name James. And James is a creator of the Wingmakers. And for those of you who don't know the Wingmakers, part of your home fun this week is to explore. We're going to put all of this in the notes. Wingmakers.com is a just entire cosmology of content from philosophy, poetry, stories, PDFs that you can download to help with activation and all kinds of spiritual concepts that I find to be the most aligned, grounded, and resonant, mirroring my own experience. So before I even heard of the Wingmakers, I was having experiences, and when I met the Wingmakers and found out about the work of James, it was like my own soul was being reflected back to me. So perhaps you've experienced that too in a book or in some kind of teaching or experience that you had where it's like, wow, I feel like I could have written this. It's literally from my own soul. And so I ended up sending James a copy of Soundlight Volume 3. And he wrote back to me, and we ended up starting an incredible collaboration. This is a couple of years ago. And as a result of this collaboration, he wrote a poem. And he wrote this poem after listening to Soundlight Volume 3 in his own words, no less than 7 times in a row. So he listened to this album 7 times in a row, and then he channeled this poem. So the poem is quite literally an expression or a reflection of his interpretation of the sound. And it was quite an honor to receive his feedback and his desire to collaborate, and then for him to write this poem was probably the highest honor I could ever imagine in this world. But I want to read it to you today because there's some interesting concepts about power in this poem that came pretty unexpectedly. It's quite a little journey, so it'll take a few minutes to read. I just invite you to center in, relax, open your heart, open your breath. And I'm going to read this poem by James, which is called I Am, We Are. We are specks of sky, a silent choir of pounding hearts. We are an eyelid the size of a galaxy, opening like a rising sun. If you look out of it, you are absorbed in I am, we are, whirling in the curvature of a universe cathedral. Sound is unity. Long waves lack horizons, their roadmaps penned from the Creator's heart. Boomerang. Listen. Do you hear the subtle, undulating seams through which you can pass? There, and there. Behind the overgrown weeds, the song leads to I am, we are. It may seem unlikely that what is small and commonly ignored is powerful, but root feeds leaf. True power waits in the whisper. beneath the ground state. It is rested. It does not flex, pounce, grip, or grab, for it is not of muscle, or bone, or mind, or even humanness. Remember that. Power is not what you have been taught. Power is the internal gaze that discerns I am, we are, and then dresses our every deed in that finery and nothing more. In the same way that white light is nothing more than all colors. We are bodies of air. Deeper, we are not bodies at all. We are the sovereign integral, that which is I and we at one time. One place, one and equal. No dominance. Equipoise. We are invisible numbers, more than gathered letters atop the periodic table. Sound more than mass. Depth more than skin. We are a bucket brigade to the fires of ego and separation. Our water is I am, we are. We arm wrestle the limbless soul. We point our fingers at the mirror that dares to lecture. We stare into ourselves and test. Am I? Are we? Really? Beautiful clarity is the rarest reply. There is no division that defines you. We grow in unseen places. Come alive in the music of quiet spaces, porous with pauses, in the sound of soaring feathers. The eyelid opens. Canopied hues of green, blue, brown, and gray come alive. Endless in their bidding to discover I am, we are. It is this and nothing more, in the same way that that white light is nothing more than all colors. I love that poem so much. It's one of my favorites in the whole world. But I'm just going to read this line one more time. It may seem unlikely that what is small and commonly ignored is powerful, but root feeds leaf. True power waits in the whisper, beneath the ground state. It is rested. It does not flex, pounce, grip, or grab, for it is not of muscle, or bone, or mind, or even humanness. Remember that. Power is not what you've been taught. Power is the internal gaze that discerns I am, we are, and then dresses our every deed in that finery and nothing more. In the same way that white light is nothing more than all colors. Now, this is amazing because power, at the beginning, I asked you to meditate on what power means to you. I'd love to hear what power means to you. Perhaps your answer's already changed a little bit today. Perhaps you already have discovered that it is sometimes the most quiet, still, rested, aware, and awake presence that is the most powerful. Right? It seems like in our world, in our technologies, and in the way society is set up, it's like the loudest, strongest, most, go out there and get them and, rock the business meetings and hit the, gym and then get on the phone. And it seems like maybe that's what power is. Oftentimes when there's this real rushing through life energy that's trying to power through that concept of like, well, I don't want to do it, but I'm going to power through it. That energy, it's very tiring, right? It's not sustainable. This is not the kind of power that could power, an entire city, right? Where's this other kind of power come from, right? Where's, we hear about technologies like the magnetic Searle energy generator. For those of you who don't know about Professor John Searle, I invite you to go check out his work. And the SEG, they call it, the Searle energy generator. And this is an absolute, revolutionary piece of tech and discovery. This guy discovered in something like the 30s, if I remember correctly, he discovered something that the ancients already knew about, which was magnetic energy. This is how they worked with all the ley lines to build the pyramids, right? This guy figured it out in Florida. That's another really amazing project to look into. If you haven't already, go study the Coral Castle and how it was created, right? If you don't know about it, prepare to have your mind blown. But the Searle energy generator, the SEG, this is an amazing thing for our times because they already had this going on back in the 20s, 30s, 40s. This guy figured out to lay and stack magnets on each other in certain configurations of magnets. All you have to do to turn on the generator is to do this, to spin it. Spin it once, the generator starts flipping. All of the parts are not touching each other, so it never goes bad. It actually gets more, it works better over time, more efficient. That's the word I was looking for. It gets more efficient over time. The more you use it, the more efficient it becomes. Now, this is the exact opposite of the other kind of power, which is electrical power, right? This whole sparky, hissy, hot, you can't touch it. It gets, it's too hot. It'll shock you. It'll burn you. When you have a car engine and you want to check it out, it's like too hot to touch because it's generating a kind of power that's dirty. We have to burn gas. We have to burn to get the power generating, to get the pistons firing, right? To get that spark. But even then, the more power we draw from it, the faster it will break. Think about this for a moment. Think about the kind of power that you are running on, the way that you power through life. Is it this electrical, hissy, sparky, mental energy? Because you're going to burn out if that's all you're doing. But then there's this other kind of power. It's called magnetic energy, right? So magnetic, what is it? It's the Ma. Magnetic is Magdalene. This is this deeper wellspring of feminine energy, of we can't even call the planet feminine, but she, we say she, we say Gaia, we say it's a she, but it's a planet, it's a being, it's a magnet, right? This kind of energy is how things can grow and die and grow again, and it's sustainable. It's a cycle. We connect into this power, this energy, when we ground, when we put our feet on the earth and ground into her and tone and sing and express ourselves and connect with each other and speak the truth and make love from this place of power. but not the kind of power that's going to burn out and make us feel tired, the kind of power that's sustainable, right? Now, of course, electric and magnetic have a synergy. There's a way that they work together, which is why they say electromagnetic. When you create an electromagnetic field, then you're working with the best of both worlds. It's like lightning shooting through a sphere. So the sphere becomes activated, and this is what we're doing with our voices. We are becoming electromagnetic to balance the El and the Ma. The El is the electric, the Elohim, the light, right? The solar energy, the Father, the Elohim. Then you have the Ma, the magnetic, the Magdalene, the matter. So the El comes in to the Ma. And there we have balance. There we have completion, connection. I am, we are. It's always both, beloveds. It's always both. So yes, Sharon, tapping into the power of Mama Earth. This is the true power. But you know what they've said? And I'm just going to let they be in quotes for right now. It has been said by many, many ancient traditions and wisdom teachings throughout my life. I seem to have come across this wisdom a few times, 3-4 times I've seen this, which is a species who is trying to take the energy from the earth only is a very young species. Once the species learns to connect to the power of the sun and the stars, that is evolution. When we evolve, when we become wise enough to stop trying to take from her, and we connect, and that's why solar power, all these alternative energy solutions they've come up. People have been tapped into this, right? Even magnetic energy. So I want to invite all of you, as part of your home fund, is to study. Just a light Google search to get you started, but then follow the rabbit hole as deep as you can this week and study magnetic power. What is it? What is magnetic energy really? What do we know about magnetic energy? And what is electric energy? And what do we know about electrical energy? You might be saying, well, what does this have to do with vocal empowerment? Elijah, come on. I thought we were going to sing. Here we are. We have to study magnetic energy and electrical energy. Well, yes, because this is exactly what we are generating when we sing. Now, if we learn to tap this, right, but by rooting in and grounding into Mother Earth, as we do our toning home, as we do our vocal empowerment exercises in our sphere every single day, we are generating an electromagnetic field. Now, what is that good for? Well, it's good for whatever we want. All of a sudden, we can start manifesting by putting clear thoughts into this field, by connecting to other people from this field that's alive, that's awake, that's empowered, that's connected. And we're using our voice from this connected place. Different kinds of energy and different kinds of people will start being attracted to us, because that's what magnets do. Magnets attract or repel. So the more that we step fully into our power and who we are and begin to express that, because we can't just hold this power inside and not express it. You know, if you saw me walk up to you and say, hi, my name's Elijah, and I would like to teach you about vocal empowerment. You would laugh. You'd be like, I need to teach this guy about vocal empowerment. You know, he's small, he's not very confident, but there's something about being in your center, in your connection, in your power, not trying to flex, and it's not ego power. This is not power. True power waits in the whisper. But when it's your turn, when it's your time, and you got to turn it on for the highest good of all beings in service to other people's awakening, which is why I'm here with you guys. I'm here with you to serve your connection, your empowerment, because the better you feel, the more empowered you become, the more you get to talk to other people and help them connect to that too. That's how we spread this garden of light. That's how we activate all the seeds, all the dormant seeds. It's by doing this with each other. You're the master now. It's up to you to not only just take in and receive the wisdom, but to turn it on when it's your time, and to make sure you're speaking about it, you're talking about it, you're You know, send some people to me as well. You know, we as a community are here to connect and empower each other so that we can bring this whole ship online. Imagine 8-9 billion people toning home into their sphere. What would happen? What would happen to the world overnight? That's what we're here to do. If there's enough of us toning home, activating our sphere and moving from a spherical presence that is grounded, empowered, gentle, but of deep service to each other, present every moment, every opportunity, every single little thing that pops into our hologram, into our reality, being present to it, greeting it consciously. Hello, nice to meet you. How can I help you today? Right? Rather than this half asleep, staring at our phones all day, not even noticing who's around us, not even noticing like, oh, I don't even know. I'm so tired all of a sudden because some succubus parasite energy got into our field because we're not in our sphere. We're not occupying our sphere. Do you realize that the only reason parasites and energetic entities can attach or connect into your field is because you're not claiming your field? Think about it. How can somebody move into your house if you're occupying your house, if you're already moved in? There's no space for them. Sorry, I live here. Namaste. Enjoy your journey. Find somewhere else to go, but not in here, not in this temple. No, no way. Right? There is no room inside of your sphere for anything but you. If you fully claim that, if you embody that right now today, toning home right now, let's do a tone home today. Claim your sphere. I dare you to kick out any energies that don't belong just by simply toning home into your sphere, occupying it with your presence. You don't have to do some huge shamanic clearing, but you do have to occupy your sphere with presence. So let's do it right now. Take a big deep breath, and we're going to tone home 3 times with a full occupation of our sphere. Ready? Here we go. Big breath in. If you want to add just a little movement at the end, just to get some energy moving. Here we go. 2 more. Claim your sphere. Do you feel it? Let's do it one more time. This time, give yourself permission to completely clean your temple. Why not? What else are we waiting for? Why would we wait even another day to clean and clear this field? So here we go. So it's similar to what I just did. If you go yee or an yee, wherever it's comfortable in your range, yee, and then at the end, yeah. So it's like yee, like this, right? Here we go. Big deep breath in. This is a great way to clear your space. Now, one more thing about this poem I just read you. Power is, it says, the internal gaze that discerns I am, we are, and then dresses our every deed in that finery and nothing more. In the same way that white light is nothing more than all colors. What does this mean? Power is the internal gaze that discerns I am, we are, and dresses our every deed in that finery. Nothing more. What an amazing and powerful statement. So to be able to discern with your internal gaze, that is the way you witness, view, and perceive your reality. To discern, I am, we are. To be sovereign and unified at one time, right? In the Wingmakers, they call it sovereign integral. The sovereign integral consciousness is to be I am and we are. To be electrical and magnetic. This is the Holy Cross, right? I'm wearing a cross today. My dear, dear sister gifted me. And this is such an incredible reminder of what the cross actually is. It's a compass to locate ourselves in this space and time. It's also the 4 directions, so many things contained in the cross. But I am, we are. To be in this state and to discern that, this consciousness in every interaction. To see that you're not separate from your computer screen. You're not separate from your stuff, from your clothes. Like we are literally on an energetic level, co-mingling our particles with everything. We've pretty much made love with everybody at this point, right? Even if you're celibate your whole life, you've made love with everybody. Let's face it, because we are mingling and co-creating, and our particles are dancing in and out of each other's field. I'm breathing the same breath that you breathed out someday, right? So let's actually live into this, right? This power that is not power over anyone else. It's power within yourself. It's power of knowing thyself. That's power. When you speak from that deep place of knowing, you will silence the room every time, because we can hear this power. We're tuning into it. We're listening. We're kind of like looking for any examples of connection in this deep space of power, of connectedness, of love. When you feel a great teacher or master enter the room, you feel them, right? I've been around some priestesses and elders and medicine men and medicine women in my life that they don't have to say anything, right? Vocal empowerment is knowing when to speak and when not to speak, as a reflection and as an expression of your power. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is not speak. You ever been in that position, anyone? Where if you say anything, it's going to be less powerful. You would almost like ruin it. But if you just stay right here, sometimes even just an acknowledgement of your frequency, of your presence from your heart, can be the most powerful thing you could ever say to someone. So that's a little bit about power today. I want to take the last 10 minutes to make sure we have time for any questions and answers. So I want to ask, for those of you who've been tuning in, any questions from last week, from the surrender, anything we've gone over today, or anything about power that comes up for you. And so, also, thank you, Melissa. Last week, you had some home fun, which was to choose your song that you're going to be learning for this last few weeks that we have together. So I hope you have your song ready, because I'm going to ask you to put it into the chat room. So that's 2 things for you to consider communicating to me. Use your voice of power through your little computer screen or your phone to type in your song that you chose from last week. That is going to be your song you're going to focus on and learn and master in this next couple of weeks. 2, second thing to put in here is any questions that you have about this session or any of the past sessions or any of our work together. Okay, and we can take a few minutes to connect. And then I have to go get set up and play a concert tonight for this amazing group that's here gathered in Costa Rica at the retreat. Okay, so Mar, you asked a really great question, sister. How do you overcome resistance to practicing? This is an amazing question, because how many of us, raise your hand, or just say yes in the chat box if you had resistance to practicing? I imagine every single one of you should probably say yes to that, because somewhere in one of these days, if not every day, you probably experience some resistance to doing your vocal empowerment exercises, to working with your sphere, to actually practicing what we're preaching here, to actually embodying the wisdom and taking it on and making it yours. I imagine that we've all had some resistance to this, because there's nothing wrong with that. That is the human ego. That is our minds. That is what comes with having a body. So how do we overcome this resistance? Well, the best way to overcome resistance is to simplify, right? To oftentimes when I'm feeling resistance to something, it's because it kind of seems like a big deal, right? Where our mind makes it a big deal, even if it's a simple thing. Like, I've had resistance to just getting up to go pee in the middle of the night because I'm really cold and I don't want to get out of bed, right? So I have resistance to that, even though it's just right there. It's not a big deal. It would feel way better if I did it. But we have these little moments where we just have to kind of kickstart ourselves into actually doing what we need to do. So when I'm feeling resistance to something like practicing or doing my sadhana every day, right? I've had resistance to doing sadhana. This whole last month, I've been really off with my sadhana, you guys. Like, I usually have a morning practice I do every morning. Besides vocal empowerment, I do kind of like a Tai Chi warm-up yoga. And I would suggest, if you're not already, for you to adopt a yoga practice or a sadhana of some kind. So I had resistance to it, and I realized it's because I had gotten off a couple of weeks. I hadn't done it when I was traveling. I just dropped it because of changing time zones and, work schedules, so that I didn't do it. When I came back home, I was like, okay, I'm going to jump into it. But I realized I woke up and I had resistance to doing my practice. And I was looking at it. What is that? It's because I'm thinking of it as this whole big thing I have to do. So what I did, I said, okay, Elijah, that's cute that you have some resistance to doing something that's really good for you, like practicing. So we're just going to do one thing. We're just going to do that one stretch that you love to do at the beginning and at the end. Let's just do that one stretch. So same thing with practicing with your vocal empowerment. You sometimes have to trick your and kind of cruise around the ego a little bit and just find some way to get into it and just like do your at least one thing. And if that one thing is, okay, I don't feel like doing my vocal empowerment today, but I'm going to just tone home 3 times. Start with that. And in the back of your mind, you have to be a ninja and be like, okay, here's what we're going to do. At the end of the 3rd one, go right into your spherical expression. You trick yourself to get into it, right? Because after a couple of tone homes, it's going to feel so good. Same thing with making music. If you're like, got your loop pedal set up, Mar, and you're like, to get yourself in there, just hack it by just saying you're going to do one thing only and commit to just doing one thing. I'm just going to sing 3 tones today. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to drone or loop a drone. Once you do that, you're going to want to sing on top of it. And then once you do that, you're going to probably want to pick up your guitar. So it's like to just get in the door, right? That's really what I'm saying. That's how we overcome the resistance. It just get your foot in the door. Okay? Don't let the resistance stop you from doing something so beneficial to you, because I'm going to be honest with you, if you haven't done your spherical explorations throughout every single day of this last 9 weeks together, you're probably having a very different experience from those who have, right? Your experience of this work is going to be very different from those who are taking in the wisdom and doing something with it, making it your own, writing notes, watching the videos, but more than importantly than watching and listening, taking it on and practicing and playing with your voice, using these little tools I'm giving you as just what they are. They're just a tool. Okay, Elijah doesn't know what your tone home is. That's yours. So you find your tone home and you activate it. You turn on the key and then get into your sphere. And yes, using the elevator exercise, using your vocal warm-ups, using your loose lips every day. On the ah, on the e, o, ooh. Every single tool I've given you, you can do each of them with every vowel, right? And then the in-between spaces between the vowels, going from an ah and then ending up at an o, going from an o, ending up at an ooh, and just exploring these spaces. But I don't get to hang out with you every day and be like, okay, let's go. Here we go. Vocal empowerment #1 today. And then I'll meet you at lunch. Here we go. You know, sometimes I feel like we could use a personal trainer, but your personal trainer is you. You are the master. So for you, you might want to just start using these devices for something more than just checking Facebook and setting an alarm 3 times a day. Make that your trigger, right? To start to do your practices. If you don't think you have anything to do, go back and watch video #1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because it's all in there. You've got plenty of home fun to keep you busy, which is why I try to just give you a couple of things each week, okay? Not too much, but now after we've piled up and I've given you all these weeks worth of things to explore, you can pick and choose the ones that are just for you, right? So I'm seeing some songs in here. I'm just gonna go check in here to the chat box. Okay, Sharon said something. I want to share that I saw Eckhart Tolle speak last weekend. He talked about the cross as being in the spirit realm, the vertical, and doing in the earth realm, the horizontal. And that balance of the two is the key. So you are in sync with the masters, Elijah. Well, thank you. I am definitely listening deeply. And it makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, there's, you know, the horizontal realm is our connection to spirit. The vertical realm is our connection to earth. So it just kind of makes sense when you think about it like that. Okay, so we have some songs here. I'm so proud of you guys. So take a moment to check out other people's songs too. I would love if Mar or Melissa, if you could just make a note of all these songs, and we're gonna be checking in. I'm gonna listen to all of your songs. I know a few of them already. Yeah, this is great. Leonard Cohen. This I Give. I don't know if I know that one by Sorn. Oh yes, Sorn. You were showing me some Sorn. Awesome. Yeah, Melissa, you get that, queen. Spirit Bird by Xavier, beautiful song, great choice. What I Know by Trevor Hall, great song. All right, you're picking some songs by our brothers. Okay, I only see a few in there, so if you haven't already, write your song down. We want to know what they are. And I've just given you a few things for your home fun, but the most important thing, well, there's 2 more things. So the one, which I'm just going to say is the most important thing for you to do this week for your home fun every single day, please have fun with your voice. If it's not fun and it feels like work, then there's going to be resistance, because if it doesn't feel like fun, why would we want to do it in the first place? So this has to feel fun. So that means you have to hack the ways to make it fun for yourself. Right? So I can give you the things that have worked for me because I know how to make it fun. I know how to make a tone vibrate in my body until I literally feel pleasure. You know, I just to get raw with you for a moment, I've had orgasmic experiences just with toning, just with singing, I've been able to bring myself into an orgasmic state. So vocal empowerment is not supposed to feel like work. It's supposed to feel like fun, play, pleasure, connection to your spirit, to your source, to your power. That's what this is for. So the second thing, for your home fun this week, I want you to learn your song. And I mean learn it. Now, how do we do that? How do we go about learning to a song? We talked a little bit about this last week, but briefly, best way to learn a song is just to always have it play. So to play it on repeat and sing along to it. And when you miss parts and you don't get it exactly how it is in the recording, go back, listen on headphones. I would really recommend headphones, because oftentimes, like, you're even in the car or the things, you're kind of like split between multiple things that you're doing. Make sure you give this, listen on your headphones, listen to it every day. That syllable and that line. Second thing I want you to do is write out all the lyrics on a piece of paper. I learn things much better when I write them down. So if I'm listening to the song, that's great, but write down the lyrics. And then for those of you, if you want to say for an extra gold star, write down the chords, right? Figure out the chords. You can who you are if you already are vocal and you know who you. Write out a chart for the song. For those of you who don't even know what I'm saying, when I say write out the chords and make a chart, don't worry about it. Don't worry. But write out all the lyrics to your song and where the melody goes up and where it goes down. And just start to create this shape in your mind as you're singing it. Just think of it as a shape. Think of it as a path. And this path goes up and it goes down and it goes and then so think of it like a story, or so learn the shape of your song. Learn the shape of your song. So learning your song is, once you've learned the shape, and I want you to stream your song. Okay? We talked about this early on. When you sing something like, "You are the sunshine," like, "You are the sunshine," those are a bunch of different, "You are the sunshine of my life." So it goes, "You are the sunshine of my life." So it goes up, and then it goes down, and then it goes back up. "You are the sunshine of my life." Now, the more you get familiar with that shape, you're going to start singing it like you're trying to hit these notes, but you're not hitting notes. You're streaming the music. So don't just try to hit the notes. Stream the song. "You are the sunshine of my life." So it's kind of like turning on a fire hose that just kind of like penetrates through the shape of the song. So instead of thinking, "Oh, I'm going up and now I'm going down, now I'm going up and down," no, you are streaming it. Your voice is going up and down. The melody is going up and down, but you are the stream. "You are the sunshine of my life. That's why I'll always be around." Right? So stream the song. That's your home fun. It's to learn the song, learn the shape of the song, memorize the words and the lyrics and the melodies, but then stream it. Okay? My loves, it is time. We're a little bit over time, and I do have to get going to make sure I can set up for my concert tonight. So I just want to say, Wholeness and Balance, thank you so much for being present. We did it. We brought our energies together. We strengthened the field, and we had a great connection. Hopefully everything came through really clear for you. Sorry about the little dip in the road at the beginning. I will see you next week. I will be at a different retreat center next week called Punta Mona, and I do not know how the internet goes. So keep a lookout and check your email on the morning of, on Sunday morning. If I get there and I've told, "Sorry, this is the best we," tell me, "Sorry, this is the best we have," and it's not very good, we may postpone the session, but my intention is for us to stay on schedule and meet you right here again, same time next week. But do check your email just in case, because I will be in the jungle. But hey, it worked today. So much love. Thank you so much. And be in your power. It's an honor. It's an honor to be connected with all of you. Have a beautiful day, family. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.